Good morning, Reverend Clergy, Honorable Mayor, State Delegation, Revere City Council members, Revere School Committee members, 100 Club members, family members of the Revere Fire Department, friends and retirees of the Revere Fire Department, and members of the Revere Fire Department. Welcome to this, our 69th Memorial Sunday here at the Point of Pines Fire Station in honor of our departed members of the department. We are gathered here today honoring 6 of our retirees that have passed away this year. To start our program this morning, we will have Raising of the Colors and then Lowering to Half Staff by Robert Fortuna, Captain, Secretary, Treasurer, Revere Firefighters Local 926. And as these colors are being raised, playing Call to Colors shall be Deputy Chief Stephen Forgione, Revere Auxiliary Police. Detail, present arms. Order arms. Parade rest. Our invocation shall be by Father Mike Ferrara, Revere Fire Department Chaplain, retired. Detail, uncover.
Let us pray. O Heavenly Father, we call upon you this morning on our annual Revere Fire Department Memorial Day as we pray for our firefighters who have answered their last call. Father in heaven, as our eternal first responder, we ask that you open the heavenly gates and receive them who have fought the good fight and ran the race of rescuing our neighbors from the ravages of fire and health emergencies. And may your heavenly spirit of love ease the pain of loss for their survivors and friends, and remind us all that they are not gone, rather they have gone ahead, and their spirit remains in those who continue the battle. And this we ask of you, one God, who is, was, and will ever be, forever and ever. Amen.
Detail, recover. I now present to you the Honorable Brian Arrigo, Mayor of the City of Revere, to deliver the opening address.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2017 City of Revere Firefighter Memorial Exercises. I want to start by thanking all of the members of the State Legislature, our City Council, and School Committee for being in attendance today. I also want to thank Chief Bright, who is just about finished with his first year. Tomorrow is his anniversary. Chief Bright, your leadership has strengthened the Revere Fire Department, and I know how hard you work each and every day to protect our residents. And I have no doubt that under your guidance, the department will continue to succeed and make our city safe for all. So thank you for all that you do, Chief. Additionally, I want to extend a special welcome to all the family members of loved ones of Revere's fallen firefighters. We offer you today our prayers and our gratitude. I know that the whole family sacrifices for the greater good of the community when your husband, wife, son, or daughter decide to serve the public. And we are incredibly thankful as a city for the strong, supportive families that have produced our firefighters. So thank you. This year, as it was noted, marks the 69th annual Firefighters Memorial here in the Point of Pines. And every year, this event is a poignant reminder of the dangers faced daily by those who are brave enough to wear the uniform. And the monument here, which is newly constructed and absolutely beautiful, thanks to the folks at Revere Firefighter Local 926. This monument contains the names of all firefighters that have served the city and passed away, as well as those who were killed in the line of duty. Those names serve as a reminder of the stark reality that firefighters and their families face each day. They go to work knowing that the stakes are high and the dangers are real. While the city can never repay the debt we owe those who selfishly serve our community, this wall represents our permanent commitment to doing what we can for our firefighters and their families. The city of Revere will always honor that commitment. Firefighting has been an incredibly dangerous job historically, and one that requires a special kind of courage and dedication. But the commitment, bravery, and sacrifice that our firefighters extend beyond the disasters and fires that always make the news. The role of a firefighter is constantly evolving in the 21st century, and their calls, besides preventing fires, medical emergencies, and saving lives, include now new challenges day to day, especially in the ever-increasing opioid epidemic. While the work of our firefighters, while the work that they do on a daily basis sometimes goes unnoticed, that changes when a disaster does strike and when things are in the news. And at that moment, our firefighters continuously prove that they are indeed exceptional. They have to be brave, smart, cool under pressure, and time after time, the city of Revere is so thankful and lucky because we rise to that standard day in, day out. In addition to the daily hazards, firefighters are now, and we know that there's more and more research on this, that there's a heightened risk of cancer due to exposure of carcinogens. The health effects of this job can weigh years after folks retire. And so we know that firefighters who have paid the physical toll for their work are incredibly important. And it's important that we, as residents, honor the commitment and sacrifice, and as a city, we honor and commit to that sacrifice. And I know that all the men and women who are here today know that their job is dangerous and potentially deadly. But they show up every day, and they do their work, and they have clarity and courage. And that's because they know that our city and our public safety demands that. So to all the firefighters, past, present, on behalf of the city of Revere, a very grateful city, thank you.
We will now have the placing of the memorial wreath in the shape of the Firefighters Maltese Cross in honor of our departed members. Placing the wreath shall be Kevin O'Hara, Lieutenant and President of Revere Firefighters Local 926, Firefighter Michael Amato, Vice President of the Revere Firefighters Local 926. Detail, attention. Present arms. Order arms. We shall now have a reading of the names of our line of duty deaths and a ringing of the bell for each of these members, signifying the ultimate sacrifice for which they and their families have made. Reading the names will be one of our most distinguished and dedicated retirees, Lieutenant James Caramello, President of Revere Firefighters Local 926, retired. Detail, present arms.
Thank you and good morning to all people at today's ceremony and especially to our honored guests. Chief Chris Bright has added a new segment to today's program. With the ringing of the fire apparatus bell, we will honor the line of duty deaths in the history of the Revere Fire Department. The ringing of the bell represents the last call alarm for those that made the ultimate sacrifice by laying down their lives for the protection of the city of Revere and its citizens. The names are as follows: William E. Austin, Clarence F. Borden, Melvin Casey, Louis DeSantis, Theodore A. Ferrante, Theodore A. Ferrante Jr., James Gibbons, Joseph T. Fair. Thank you.
Present arms. Order arms. We shall now have a reading of the names of this year's departed members and a placing of the marker in front of these names on the memorial. Reading the names will be Senior Deputy Chief George Hilary, retired. Detail, present arms.
Lieutenant Jack Sipperly, date of appointment January 5th, 1965. Retired November 12th, 1977. Deceased May 19th, 2016. Firefighter Felix DeSisto, date of appointment December 31st, 1949. Resigned July 15th, 1968, and deceased June 1st, 2016. Firefighter Edward Turner, date of appointment October 18th, 1966. Retired December 27th, 1980. Deceased August 19th, 2016. Captain Thomas Tweet, Jr., date of appointment September 3rd, 1967. Retired January 1st, 1995. Deceased September 1st, 2016. Firefighter Charles Howell, date of appointment February 19, 1973, retired January 2nd, 2008, deceased November 15, 2016. Deputy Chief Angelo Michella, date of appointment December 31st, 1949, retired January 25th, 1986, deceased February 26, 2017.
Order arms. In honor of our departed members, we will now have retired Chelsea Fire Captain Steve Denning of the Chelsea Firefighters Pipes and Drums play Going Home. This year's memorial address shall be given by Robert A. DeLeo, Speaker of the Massachusetts House of Representatives.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. Chief Bright, congratulations on the celebration of your anniversary as chief. I also want to thank the president of the Firefighters Union, Kevin O'Hara, for the great job that was done in these grounds and how beautiful that they look. So to you and all the members of the union, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to join with you here today. And on behalf of my colleague and Revere's own Representative Vincent and Senator Boncory, it's an honor to be here with all of you as we take this morning to recognize and memorialize the courage and selflessness of our firefighters. These men and women are our heroes. The sacrifices that they make day in and day out are immeasurable. They risk their lives for our families. Although we can never fully repay them for their risks and the lives that they take and the lives that they save, today we take a moment to simply say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to public service and the welfare of our city. Thank you for keeping our families and friends out of peril. The reading of the names is always a profound moment for me. Each of these men served with pride and enthusiasm. Their legacy is an inspiration to aspiring firefighters and all of us here today, whether in uniform or not. Jack Sipperly, Felix DeSisto, Edward Turner, Thomas Tewitt, Charles Howell, Angelo Michella, and although he will be honored subsequently, let's not forget former Chief Dan Doherty as well. Their spirits will forever live on in the firehouse and in our community. Though we come together today to salute the bravery and heroism of our firefighters, we must never let our firefighters and servicemen and women from the past and the present leave our thoughts. So as we end today, let us ask God to bless the United States of America, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, our great city of Revere, and our brave firefighters. Thank you and God bless.
We shall now have taps played by Deputy Chief Stephen Forgione, Revere Auxiliary Police. Detail, attention. Present arms. Order arms. Parade rest. This year's closing remarks shall be given by Senator Joseph A. Boncory.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having this important day to recognize our fallen heroes in the city of Revere. I'd like to congratulate Chief Bright on his year anniversary and ensuring that Revere is the gold standard in professionalism in firefighting and public safety generally. Today, we come here to recognize our fallen heroes, our firefighters, and pay commitment to their service to our city and our Commonwealth. You know, we should do this today, but we should do it every day. In the state, we have made this recognition. I want to thank my colleague in government, State Representative Rosalie Vincent, and Speaker DeLeo for his leadership. This year, the Massachusetts legislature has doubled the line of duty death benefit to firefighters. A small commitment, but a commitment to help the Commonwealth understand that we recognize the peril that you men and women put yourself in every day. We recognize your families, and we recognize the anxiety that they feel each and every day when the men and women of the city of Revere put on that firefighter's uniform and go out and commit the most selfless acts that one can commit. When there's trouble, they run towards the trouble. When there's peril, they put themselves in that way. We thank you today, and we thank you every day. I want to thank Lieutenant O'Hara for his advocacy, not only for the firefighters along of Local 926, but the firefighters all across the Commonwealth, and his commitment and advocacy in the line of duty death benefit legislation that passed this year. I want to thank you all for being here just to recognize our heroes, our true heroes, the firefighters of the city of Revere and the firefighters of the Commonwealth. Thank you all very much.
Now to present the Career Service Awards to the current members of the department shall be Mayor Brian Arrigo and Chief of Department Christopher P. Bright. Detail, attention.
Good morning. In conjunction with the Department of Fire Services and the Commonwealth Fire Service Commission, I am pleased to announce this year's recipients of the Career Service Awards. These awards are for officers and firefighters that have attained at least 20 years of dedicated fire service as a career firefighter on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth in Massachusetts in this department. For 35 years of service, we'd like to honor Lieutenant Dennis Russo. Anyone who knows Dennis knows he's one of the most tenacious firefighters that ever came out of any fire department. And bittersweet, he'll be retiring this year at some point. We're going to lose him. It's going to be a huge loss. For 20 years of service, Deputy Chief Michael Viviano. "20 years of service, Captain Robert Fortuna. "20 years of service, Captain Guy Landry. For 20 years of service, Firefighter Paul Calsametto. Paul here? Sorry, didn't realize Paul wasn't here. For 20 years of service, Firefighter Joseph Guinera. Also, for 20 years of service, could not be here due to a family matter, Firefighter Kenneth McDonald. "20 years of service, Firefighter Peter McLaughlin. And lastly, another one of our members who could not be, his daughter's graduating from college today, Firefighter Edward Staridi, 20 years of service. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Reverend clergy, Father Mike, Mayor Brian Arrigo, retired chiefs Arthur Anderson and Gene Doherty, members of our state delegation, Speaker of the House Bob DeLeo, Representative Rose Lee Vincent, Senator Joseph Boncory, members of the Revere City Council, councilors at large, former Mayor Council President and 100 Club member Bob Hass. Counselor at Large, granddaughter of retired firefighter Chris Janito and his lovely wife Joanne, Jessica Janino. Counselor at Large, Tony Zambuto. Counselor at Large, Steve Morabito. Counselor at Large, George Rotundo. For our ward councilors, Ward 1 Counselor, Joanne McKenna. Ward 2 Counselor, Ira Novoselsky. Ward 3 Counselor, Arthur Guanasso. Ward 4 Counselor, Patrick Keith. Ward 5 Counselor, John Powers. And Ward 6 Counselor, retired Revere Police Chief, Sergeant Charlie Patch. Thank you for being here. Members of the Revere School Committee, former Superintendent of Schools and School Committee Woman Carol Ty. School Committeeman Fred Sanella. School Committeeman and son of past Revere firefighter Lieutenant Manny Ferranti, my old neighbor. School Committee Woman Susan Gravelisi. School Committeeman Dan McGuire. Dan McGuire. I said it twice because I forgot him last year. School Committee Woman Stacy Rizzo. Northeast Metro Regional Vocational School Committee member Ron Janino. And our newly appointed Director of Veterans Affairs, Mark Silvestri. Thank you for joining us this morning. Our 100 Club members, Bob Hass and Paul Simonini. Thank you. We in the fire service are forever grateful to the members of the 100 Club. The 100 Club is always there to help our families who have suffered a loss. The Revere Police Department and the Revere Auxiliary Police. We got Captain James Guido with us here this morning, and our bugler, Deputy Chief Steve Forgione from the Auxiliary. From the Chelsea Firefighters, Pipe and Drums, Captain Steve Denning, retired. Mike and Susan Myers, in remembrance of their son, Michael. The Director of Emergency Management for the City of Chelsea, Alan Albert. Former Mayor, City of Revere, Dan Rizzo. And retired Revere Police Chief, Ed Sasso. Thank you all. For our retired members, we got a lot, and I tried to get everyone down here. I'd like to say good morning to Frank Ferranti, Bob DeSalvo, Jimmy Caramello, Bobby Eidenberg, Val Lanza, Arthur Anderson, Jim Doyle, John David Ferranti, Jack Doherty, Jay Piccarello, Bobby Glass, John Carroll, Steve Bernstein, Eddie Foster, Russell Vitale, Tony DiGiovanni, John Langoni, Jerry Amore, Nick Bellafato, Kevin O'Hara, Stanley Wells, Steve Duggan, George Slaney, the living legend Dan Floyd, and anyone slide in late I missed, raise your hand. Oh, who's that? Oh, Captain Jala, I'm sorry. Nice to see you, Tony. And Tony Jala. Good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry? Oh, hey, Mo. Good morning. How are you? Very good. Good to see you. Good morning, everybody. Families of our retired members that have departed this past year, DeCipoli, DeSisto, Turner, Tweet, Howell, and Michelle families, welcome. To the families of our departed line of duty members, Gloria Ferranti, Dolly DeSantis, and Carla Ferranti. We are forever at your service, and we shall never forget the supreme sacrifice made by your families. Thank you, and welcome for being here, as always. Family and friends, my brother firefighters, and sister firefighters. It is truly an honor to stand here before you today to participate in this, our most solemn and traditional ceremony. Each year we come together on the second Sunday morning in June to pay tribute in remembrance of our fellow firefighters that came before us. Young firefighters fall in love with this job, never giving much thought to the hazards they will encounter. We learned first that teamwork is essential to the success of firefighting. We learned to do everything together as a team. When the fire alarm sounds, we slide down the pole, don our bunker gear, get on the apparatus, and out the door we go, responding to one of the over 10,000 emergency calls we answer every year. We depend on our training, experience, and instinct to guide us in performing in the most effective and efficient manner at whatever the emergency may be. Young firefighters responding to emergencies with their crews feel they are invincible. Seasoned firefighters know better. We depend on one another unconditionally to do our job so that at the end of the day, everybody makes it home safely to their families. The truth is that despite our best efforts, this does not always happen. And this is our humble way to pay tribute to our departed members who did not make it home to their families. The years continue to pass by faster with alarming frequency as we attend this memorial. Firefighters that we have shared a lifetime of friendship and memories with pass on. It is our honor to pay tribute to the service and sacrifices of our departed members gave to the City of Revere Fire Department and its citizens. It is very fitting that we come to honor them along with our friends and families. We can all take great comfort knowing that one day we will join our band of brothers and sisters, and our names too shall be memorialized alongside theirs on this wall. We shall never forget to honor and respect the memory of our fellow firefighters and those who came before us and made the job better. They will always be our true heroes. Thank you for showing us the way. In closing, I'd like to give special thanks to all our families and friends for their generous donations making our memorial a success. I'd like a couple of families to signal, like the Eidenbergs and the Carmelos in particular, not to leave everybody out, but for making these improvements a reality here this year. Sincere thank you to the officers and members of the Revere Firefighters Union, Local 926, President Sarah, Vice President Amato, Secretary Treasurer Fortuna, for their assistance for ensuring the completion of our newly constructed memorial improvements, because it literally went down to the wire, folks. I think it got finished up pretty much yesterday. Thank you to Mark Martorelli for performing the construction. Special thanks to Lieutenant Joe Plassett and Lieutenant Brian Doherty for their efforts and for preparing the grounds. Also special thanks to Deputy Sean Mannion for his electrical work, Deputy Viviano, Station Commander for getting the station ready, Firefighter Frank Barry for all his logistics support. Thanks to Joe Giannino for providing flowers. Thank you to Groups 1 and 2, Engines 1, 5, Ladder 1, and Ladder 2 crews for all their hard work and labor preparing the station and filling that dumpster before today. Thank you very much. And a very special thank you to the Revere Police Department, Chief Caffarelli, Sergeant Giannino, the Revere Auxiliary Police Department for their assistance with traffic this morning. Thank you all for being with us on this glorious morning. And now please join us inside for a small collation, courtesy of the officers and members of Local 926. To conclude our program, our department shall now file out with one last salute to our departed members as retired Captain Steve Denning of the Chelsea Fire Department plays Amazing Grace.